we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So we should start talking about the background story of Ratanasutta. Actually, in the very beginning, I just do some translation. Yanita Buddhani Samagatani, Gumani Yaniva Andalike, Saviva Buddha Samana Bawandu, Octobisakaja Sunandu Basitam. Actually, these are the first part is just for translation and chanting, right? Either we should skip the first part, maybe. We should start with the Dhamma talk, right? The explanation of okay. So now this one, Ratanasutta, the Jupiter's causes. So we have to know the background story of Ratanasutta. When the Buddha was spending his time in Rajagaha, it happened. So which means when the Buddha was spending his time in Rajagaha, then in the city of Vesali, there was the city of Vesali is afflicted by the famine, causing death, especially to the poor folk. Due to the presence of decaying corpses, then the devil spirits began to haunt the city. This was followed by pestilence. Followed by these 3 fears of famine, no human beings, and pestilence. The citizens sought the help of the Buddha, who was then living at Rajagaha. Okay, this is the passage. Actually, we have to know the condition there. Then there's no rain, no water, no cultivations. They cannot harvest. Then it's really very terrible for them to survive. The many of people die. Also, actually, after some times, they cannot throw away the dead body anymore. That means they cannot go to the cemetery and bury or burn. They cannot do any of activities like that. They cannot do burning or burying. They have to just throw away here and there, scattering many corpses here and there. Then you can imagine how terrible the condition it will be. So it will be very bad smell. There will be many newly dead corpses. There are also many dead bodies eaten by different types of animals, such as dogs, jaguars, also vultures. Also, some of dead body will be only the bones. So the bones and corpses are here and there, scattering everywhere. How smelly it will be. Then evil spirits, like a non-human being, came and occupied the territories. Then also because of bad smell and many other things, they also not very healthy. It got worse. Then they have 3 problems there. The first one is famine of the non-human beings. The other is pestilence. Then there will be some robberies, because when they are hungry, they're trying to survive in many different ways. So it became very terrible in the city. Actually, Vesali, the meaning of Vesali is actually develops. Then it develops many times. The first time they make the city wall. After some times, many people live there. Then it's not in a place. That's why they have to make another wall. We can like a second wall. After that, many people come and live there. Many newly born baby, many grow up, developed. The number of population increase. That's when they have to make another wall. That's when there are 3 walls. So very beginning, very narrow one. Then we have a second wall. This wall is a little bit bigger, wider than the last one, the widest. So they have 3 different fence or 3 different city walls. So in the city, you can imagine it will be very terrible situations. The population is also very big. Also, many people also die. Then they try many ways to solve this problem. They also invite many different scholars, many different religious leaders, many different spiritual leaders to solve this problem. But they cannot handle the case. Then finally, they just have an idea. They have got an idea from one of the minister. I think now we should invite Gautama Buddha. He was not very far from our country. Also, he's in around Rajagaha. We should arrange to invite him. Then Lichawi is also, we can say, like a very ancient democracy country. They have their like parliament or something like that. Then they sent a group of ministers to the Rajagaha to invite the Buddha. Firstly, they just met King Bimbisara, and also they also asked what they wish to do. And King Bimbisara also replied, "Yes, I can have, but if Buddha disagree, I cannot do anything. So you yourself should go to see the Buddha, and also invite him." Then they just lead to monastery and also invite the Buddha. King Bimbisara also follow the Buddha. She followed, also asked the Buddha whether the Buddha had already accepted or not. When the Buddha said yes, then he also asked permissions. Okay, please wait for a moment. I should arrange properly. So between Vesali and Rajagaha, there is river. You may know Gange. Ganga River in Bali we just call Ganga. So they have that river. So King Bimbisara sent the Buddha to that river. Then also he arranged on the way very smoothly and also very like you know, we can see like a grand stuff. And another one is literary sites. They also prepare very well. So finally, the Buddha left for Vesali. King Bimbisara also sent the Buddha to the river. After that, they arranged boats, ferry boats for the Buddha and the sanghas. So actually, in the list I have already mentioned in the slides, large number of bhikkhus follow the Buddha. Actually, in the slide you can find. Following large number of monks, including Venerable Ananda, his attendants, disciples, the Buddha came to the city, right? So that means we have actually at the time Buddha spent 3 vasa in 3 successive vasa in Rajagaha. The second vasa, the third vasa, the fourth vasa, all the 3 vasas Buddha spent in Rajagaha. After the Buddha set out his journey to Vesali. Okay, previous slide. Previous one, yeah, sure. Then with the arrival of the master, there were torrential rains, which swept away petrifying corpse. So you can imagine very heavy rain, then it can sweep away all the corpse into the river. After that, city is clean. So the atmospheres became purified, the city was clean. This is the first thing happened. So that means all the bad smell has gone. All the undesirable signs, undesirable things has gone as soon as the Buddha arrived there. Then the next page. Okay. Then thereupon the Buddha delivers this jewel discourse, Ratanasutta, to Venerable Ananda, and then give him instructions as how he should tour the city with the literary citizens, reciting the discourse as the mark of protection to the people of Vesali. So this is the first thing the Buddha had done in Vesali. So Venerable Ananda, carrying the Buddha's bowl for the water. Also, Venerable Ananda followed the instructions, also sprinkle sanctifying water from the Buddha's bowl, Buddha's aunt's bowl. This is the first part he was doing. Even in modern society, we can find that kind of things in the monastery, some monastery. They sprinkle water to the people, right? They follow that tradition. Okay, anyway, now here we have to know one more thing about the effect of Parita. I didn't write down, unfortunately I didn't write down here, right? Is it effective for everybody? Or then whenever we chant Ratanasutta, it will be effective? It's very, very common questions. So we have some special quality of reciter and some special quality of listeners. If we have qualifying reciters and qualifying listeners, it will be effective. It will really affect. So, what will be the quality of reciter? So the Pali must be correct grammatically. If some grammatical error when we chant is not effective. Sometimes we must know the punctuation, where we should cut, where we should stop, where we should continue. Right? If we don't know how to cut or where to cut, if we don't know how to punctuate, then this is the problem. Another one is we must understand the meaning of the Pali. The meaning must be clear. If meaning is unclear for the reciters, it cannot be that much effective. So that means we must be very clever at Pali when we are chanting. Then, okay, the next quality is the reciter must have compassion or loving kindness towards listeners. So if we just recite superficially, it is impossible. The last one is more important. That one is expecting gain. So there are some reciters, they will expect gain, some donations from the devotees when they are chanting. Then it's not that much effective. If we don't expect any gain, it will be more effective. So for about reciters, then there will be 4 qualities, right? It must grammatically correct, also clear meaning, also loving kindness to our listeners, not expecting gain. When we have these 4 qualities, it will be effective. In the case of Venerable Ananda, sure, he has very strong compassion to our listeners. He will not expect any gain or any fame. Of course, he has very strong Pali knowledge, right? He will understand everything very well. So he's also very wise very intelligent. That's why he also knows the grammatical points in the suttas. So with this quality, he chant Parita. He chanted also, he sprinkled the sanctifying water from the Buddha's alms bowl. This is the first part. Okay, another one is listeners. What about listeners? If the listener has already committed mighty karma, you may have known 5 mighty karma, right? Killing father, killing mother, killing animal heart, shedding blood in the of the Buddha. Or now modern society like destroying Buddha statue or something like that, right? Modern society. We can also do another one, like making schism in Sangha. When somebody had done this kind of things, the Brahmana is not affected. Another one is the persistent wrong view, unchangeable wrong view, very strong and grasping wrong view, or holding wrong view. Then that means sometimes we don't believe karma, right? Then this also can be considered as wrong view. Sometimes we may believe eternalism or annihilation view. Sure, is not that much affected. Okay, now the last one is the most important. If we don't believe in Brahmana, it's not affected. We must believe in Brahmana. It will be affected. Okay, I think many people have known the historical background of Lady Sayadaw. This and I think many of Buddhist people know Lady Sayadaw because he's very early teacher. He also had good relationship with Palita Society in England. Also, he can also write many books. He also write in Pali and in Burmese. So actually, even he has that kind of quality. In his time in Myanmar, like around some Eori region or Zakang region, you know, we have the same problem. Famine, disaster, crisis. Also, if I mention like it, pestilence. Then people invited him for chanting Brahmana. He just visited. The same thing happened in Eori region. When he was just landing in the area, start raining. As you can see here, when the Buddha arrived at Vesali, start raining, right? In Eori region, it really happened at the time of Lady Sayadaw. Also, when he chants, it's really effective. This really happened in Myanmar, long times ago, right? Lady Sayadaw, you can imagine how many years ago. And then, if you know Palita Society, you can also know, right? Then, actually, he's also teacher of Abhidhamma for Palita Society. This is the one thing. Anyway, the main thing is, if reciter is qualifying or the listeners are qualifying, it will be effective. This is the main point here. Then, when Venerable Ananda, also followed by many citizens, reciting the Brahmana, as consequence, the evil spirits were exorcised. The pestilence subsided. Thereafter, Venerable Ananda returned with the citizens of Vesali to the public hall where the Buddha and his disciples had assembled, awaiting his arrival. There, the Buddha recited the same jewel discourses to the gathering. This is the first part. So, actually, in the very big here, I skip the first part of Ratanasutta according to Myanmar traditions. In Myanmar traditional recitation, actually we started with Panidana do Pataya Tathagata, something like that. We have some introductions of Brahmana. So there are 3 walls, city walls, Whenever Ananda go around the city and temperature and sprinkle water everywhere. So many people follow him. But finally he came back to then Buddha and all disciples are waiting there. Then they chant together whole night. Not only one time, right? Tiyama Ratain, they are mentioned in the introduction. 3 periods of the night, 3 watch of the night. So that means whole night. So in modern community, maybe in India, they have a particular chanting whole night. They have that kind of culture. In Sri Lanka, they have that kind of culture. But in Myanmar, we don't have that kind of culture. Right? We just have like a patana chanting. Sure, we can chant whole day, whole night. We do that kind of things. But for about Prida, we don't have that kind of chanting. Anyway, at the time, the Buddha chanted whole night together with disciples. So this is the introductions of Ratanasutta. Then we will start with the first part of the stanzas. I intend to read the first part of the stanza. Is strong enough. I have to explain many things. Yani da bhutani samagatani bhumani wa yani wa andalike sabbewa buddha sumana bhavantu athopi sakaja sunandu basita. Whatever beings, non-humans, are assembled here, treasure or selector, may they all have peace of mind, and may they listen attentively to these words. Then we have its elaborations. Here we just mentioned Yani da Bhutani, Yani ita Bhutani. The next one. Also, again, Yani me, ita me here. Yani Bhutani me beings. So whatever beings here in this area or in this assembly hall or around this area. So it refers to 2 types of living beings: the divine beings with few attendants, the Mahisaka, the divine beings with many attendants. So we may have many different types of living beings. There will be some lower living beings. They are also mentioned, it refers to Stitu Maharajaka and lower divine beings and non-human beings. Like some Yeka, they may have their attendants, maybe 2 or 3, some only 1 maybe. Also, they may have many attendants. So that's why here I mentioned Abhisaka and Mahisaka. The divine being with few attendants and divine being with many attendants, because compared to higher living beings, they will have less attendants, right? Then Bhumani. Actually, Bhumi, we can say that, Bhumi Imani. Then we come from ground or from the earth divine beings. Although here, we just say earth divine being, another one is Antalike on the sky. So earth and the sky, it just mentioned 2. So there are something connected to earth. That means the divine beings who live in the ground, trees, plants, mountain, and so forth. So they may have some connection with the ground, right? The planet, the earth. That means, for example, trees grow up from the earth. Mountain also from the earth. Right? All the plants also from the earth. So any of living beings like that can be called Bhumani. The Andalike, the divine beings in the space up to Akanita Brahma worlds. So that means whatever beings, the divine beings who has their divine mentions in the space. So that means we also call Akasa Deva space living beings. So not only that, we may have like a Chidu Maharajaka Deva. Some devas are on the sky. Then we also have like a Dawarinsa devas and higher devas up to Akanita Brahma worlds. All these are called Andalike. Why it doesn't mention anything about Arupa Brahma? Right? That means they don't have ear. Arupa, no materiality. They cannot listen. That's why here it just mentioned living beings who, or those who have ears. Right? Then again, Sakaja Sunandu Basitam. Listen attentively these words. So that means this is a recommendation. Yeah, we mentioned Sakaja, attentively. Actually, Sakaja also can translate as respectfully. So later we will have to explain what does it mean respect or many other things. So the Buddha is going to deliver us, or we are going to chant the suttas. That's why Sakaja Sunandu Basitan's encouragement. Then we also have these words can bring two things: Dipa Sampati, Lokuttara Sampati. So you mentioned why we have to listen respectively, or respectfully or attentively. Because these words can bring two things, two different types of happiness. The first one is Deva Sampati, divine achievement. So by listening to Jiva discourses, then if we pass away while listening, sure we can be Deva in the Devarams, right? Lokuttara Sukha, it also mentions many things about supramantin states. So if we can practice properly, we can also attain supramantin happiness. That is why we have to listen the Jiva discourse attentively. So one more thing here. Sometimes if we don't know the value, we will not listen respectfully. If we know the value, we will listen respectfully, attentively. Sometimes we are not interested in discourses, we will not listen attentively. If we are interested in discourses, we will listen attentively. So by listening to Jiva discourse, then we can achieve divine achievements, divine happiness. We can also achieve supramantin happiness. So in reality, these suttas will talk about the quality of the Buddha, the quality of the Dhamma, the quality of Sangha. Many of stanzas talk about the quality of Sangha. Because at the time, the Buddha was accompanied by Sangha. Okay, now we have to move next one. This stanza indicates these 7 achievements. Too much, right? The first one is Asaya Sampati, the achievement of aptitude. It means we can understand Sumana Bhavantu. Sumana means happily. May you be happy. Right? So that means when we are happy, sure we can listen more attentively. If we are happy, we cannot listen attentively. That's why here, Asaya Sampati, the achievement of aptitudes, it means Sumana Bhavantu. Our minds must be active. Right? Asaya, aptitude. Then Payoga Sampati, the achievement of means, Sakaja Sunandu Basita. So on seeing, in the context of Sakaja Sunandu Basita, we can understand there will be the achievement of means. Then at the time we have right actions. Yoga Sampati. We are doing right things. Then 3, Yoniso Manasikara Sampati, the achievement of wise attention. So we also have good mind, good intentions at the time. Then 4. Okay, one more thing here. If we talk about the achievement of wise, this means also sumana bhavantu. Right? Also sumana bhavantu. For brother Gosa somebody, the achievement of hearing from other people. Sunadu Sakaja Sunadu Basita. So when listening from other people, we can also have achievement. Actually, all the right view and the wrong view come from frequent listenings. If we have to listen good things all the time, our mind will incline to good things. If we have to listen bad things all the time, our mind will incline to bad things. So sometimes we have to listen from many positive ideas, positive advice. Sometimes we have to listen many negative advice. Actually, we don't want to listen negativity. We don't want to listen to negativity. We just want to listen on the positivity. So brother Gosa somebody also come from Sakaja Sunandu Basita. Alta Samapaniti somebody, the achievement of self-restraint. Sumana Bhavantu. So self-restraint is also really very important. We can also say another one, self-discipline. We have to make our own discipline. We have to follow our discipline. This is Adasama Bridi Sampati. Then Saburi Subanisaya Sampati. The achievement of depending on the noble. This is also Sakaja Sunandu Basita. So sometimes our dependence, we will depend on bad people. If we have to listen, there will be only bad things. We're going to be wiser. Sometimes we can depend on noble people or good people, that we can do better things. We can listen, better ideas. Then 7, Samadhi Panya Hetu Sampati. The achievement of supporting conditions of concentration and wisdom. Actually, we can divide into 2. Samadhi Hetu Sampati, Panya Hetu Sampati. We can also divide into 2. So it can be supporting condition of concentration. Of course, if we have very strong concentration, we can feel happiness, sumana bhavantu, right? We can concentrate well. If we can listen to the discourse, attentively, sure, they will give me wisdom. We can say, Sakya Sunandu Basita. So this stanza mentions these 7 achievements. So these come from Sumana Bhavantu and Sakaja Sunandu Basita. In this context, we can understand these 7 things. Okay, now and again, move to the next one. Okay. Before moving this one, okay, I should maybe overview previous one, right? Anyway, so the first thing is we have to know why we encourage divine beings to listen attentively. If they are not listening, sure, they will enjoy divine pleasure, divine enjoyment. It's not the time to enjoy divine pleasure, it's the time to listen to the discourses. That's why the Buddha and Sangha encourage them to come and listen the discourses. This is the first part we have to know. Then again, we have Tasmahi Buddha, Nisameta, Sabbe, Metan Karota, Manusiya, Bajaya. Diwa Jaradoja Harandi Yebale, Tasmahi Buddha, Tasmahi Nerakata Abamata. So here we have the stanza, right? Tasmahi Buddha. One thing, Nisameta is the verb, right? Sabbe, Metan Karota, you know the meaning of metta. Metta means radiate metta, having metta. Manusiya Bajaya, Manusiya means human being. Diwa Jaradoja, day or night. Harandi Yebale, that means they offer. That's my Nirakata Abamata. So this give and take in the words, right? So that means all beings listen closely May you all radiate loving kindness to those human beings who by day and night bring offerings to you, offer merit to you. Wherefore, protect them with diligence. This is also the encouragement. So here in this stanza also, we have to elaborate a little bit more in detail. Nisa meta, listen closely. So let me do give up divine enjoyment, to pay attention to the Dhamma. Two types of encouragement. So when we talk about that's my Buddha Nisa meta, right? Then also mention, actually this Nisa meta also mentions, actually you can also we can also refer previous stanza actually. Anyway, the same thing will come here. So when we say Nisa meta, listen closely, this also means different types of suti. Suti means purity. The first one is the Atta Samapaniti Suti, the purity of restraint, self-restraint. So when we talk about self-restraint, this is also called self-discipline. We can also call this also a kind of morality, the precepts. But this one is not laid down by the Buddha. We ourselves lay down the rules. We ourselves follow. Actually, sometimes when somebody lay down the rules, if we dislike, we may break the rules and regulation, right? If we lay down the rules by ourselves, then sure, if we don't follow, we regret more. For example, when we are in the school, we also have like timetable. We also have timetable schedule. We also have to set our own rules and regulations. So I have to do this one within 1 month. I have to finish this subject within 1 month, or within 2 months, within 3 months. We have to make our own schedule. We have to lay down our own rules. If I cannot finish, what we should do? As punishment, do extra hour, right? So if we study 1 hour a day, so if we cannot finish, as punishment, 2 hours a day. So self-restraint, this is also really very important. It comes from ourselves, our intellectual quality. It comes from our own wish. It also for our own benefits or our own improvement. So here, self-restraint. So Nisa meta, listen closely. That means they have to lay down the rules for themselves, because this is encouraging devas, right? Then 2, Ratanasutta Suti, the purity of wise attention. Of course, if we have bad intention, we will do many bad things. We must have good intention. So sometimes, although we listen to the discourse that we have bad intention, just find faults of suttas or something like that. Sometimes we just, when we get Dhamma talk, sometimes people will remember many funny things. They don't remember the key points, because the way they listen is a little bit strange. We can say, like this is also called wise attention, good intention. If we just listen for practice with good intention, sure, it will be called the purity of wise attention. Ratanasutta Suti. Asaya Suti, the purity of aptitudes. Actually, it comes from our inclination, our tendency. Sometimes we incline to many bad things. Our tendency is not that much good. So when we have the purity of aptitudes, our mind is clear. If we have impurity of aptitudes, then our mind will be unclear. This is also important for the listeners. Then 4, Payoga Suti, the purity of means. Actually, we have already talked about the achievement of means, right? So here also we can say like we have great actions. So actually there are some people, they are doing many bad things whole day, whole night. But when they have difficulty, they are trying to chant Brita to protect themselves. Right? Like me, urgently, they need help without doing very well. That kind of expectations are really very bad. We must have good actions, good activities. Then if we have good actions, then we call beauty of means, yoga suti. Okay, now the next one. Then the proximate cause of beauty of means for the Dhamma listeners. Okay, this is also important. 1. Sabburisubha nisaya, depending on the novel. 2. Pradogosa, listening to the other people. So here, Sabburisubha nisaya, depending on the novel. When the Buddha was delivering Ratanasutta, the Buddha is novel 1. Also, Venerable Ananda is also Sotapanna, novel 1. There are many arhats in the assembly, many anagamis, many sakadagami, many Sotapanna. They were gathered in the assembly hall. They are chanting Brita. So when we have powerful dependence, we can improve faster. Okay, practically, meditation instructions given by Kovida and given by Pausero, it will be different. Pausero is more powerful, right? I cannot compare with my teacher, right? Okay, we should not compare with Buddha also. Meditation instructions given by the Buddha, given by Pausero. Don't compare. Don't compare. Even Venerable Ananda and the Buddha, don't compare. Venerable Sariputra and the Buddha, don't compare. Here in that spot, the Buddha himself was delivering discourses, chanting stanzas from his, all the stanzas come out from his mouth with his original sound. You can imagine how powerful it will be. So that means Sabburisubha nisaya, depending on the novel, sure, it's very powerful. If we can get some instructions, some recitations, or some supports, it will be powerful. Then 2, pradogosa, listening to other people. So that means if we listen to noble people, noble persons, of their speech, sure, it will be only noble Dhamma. So that is why we have to closely pay attention to the Buddha's teaching. This is pradogosa. By listening, we can beautify many things. I already list out, right? We can beautify many things. Then one more thing here. Not only that, the Dhamma is produced by the 2 qualities, two of the Buddha's quality. So we have many Buddha's qualities. Mostly we just know Itipiso Bhagava, right? There are many other qualities we can find in many different sutras. Okay, now the Dhamma is come from 1, Karuna Guna, the quality of compassion. Sometimes, okay, I have already said, sometimes we have done many wrong things. When we have difficulty, we just take shelter from the Buddha or chant something, come to the monastery, ask for help, to chant this, to chant that, right? That kind of things. No, that is not. I'm not sure they have the reciter has karuna or not, compassion or not. Not all the reciters are bad, right? Some reciter will be good, reciter will be good. They may have compassion to what listeners, sure. So now here in the case of the Buddha, when the Buddha fulfilled his perfections, he just fulfilled Bharami with compassion toward living beings. We can say Mahakaruna, great compassion, not ordinary compassion. So now here, the Buddha has the quality of compassions. We cannot compare with any other living beings, the greatest compassions. So the Buddha may have great compassions, then with that great compassions, he just chant this prita. He just instructed this prita to Venerable Ananda. He himself recited the prita in the assembly hall. 2. Panya Guna, the quality of wisdom. So here the Buddha used his quality of wisdom to combine all these things. We can say Desanajnana, the knowledge of discourse. The Buddha knows how to make the sequence of discourse, the order of discourse. So by this quality, he just teach or instructed this suttas. So, okay, briefly, the Buddha used these two qualities, the incomparable complexions, incomparable wisdoms, then deliver the discourse. That's why we have to listen to the discourse closely, attentively. Also, you can also purify many things, right? That's why we have to listen closely, attentively, respectfully. I have already said, if we are not respectful to the discourses or the prita, it's not effective. Now and again, Mittang Karota. Here we think that's my Buddha Nisa Metta, right? We just talk about Nisa Metta, but we have to listen closely or attentively because of all these reasons. We have to listen attentively, closely. Now that's it. Sabbe Mittang Karota. So that means radiate loving kindness towards all the human beings. Manusiya Vijaya. So we have already known the meaning of metta. Okay, we can move next one. We have already know how to radiate metta to all living beings. Right? So there are 11 benefits of radiating loving kindness. Actually, I have already talked about it in Visuddhimagga. Okay, now I will explain some of them. It will be useful for you. For example, if you cannot sleep well, radiate metta. So when you wake up terribly, you can radiate metta. So if many of unseen beings or no human being disturb you, radiate metta. When you have bad dreams or nightmare, radiate metta. So there are many benefits of metta. Although here we mentioned 11 benefits of metta, there are many other benefits. So here, Jivaja Radoja Harandi, previous one. Jivaja Radoja Harandi Yebeling. Believe me, offering. So there are 5 kinds of offering. Here we say belief, right? 5 types of belief. Nyati belief, offering to relatives. So when we are offering to our relatives, this is also called nyati belief. And we have to support our relatives. Aditi belief, offering to guests or visitor. So sometimes we may have our visitors. This is also called Aditi belief. Pupa Beta belief, offering to departed relatives. So we may have our departed relatives. We have to share our marriage with them. This is also called Pupa Beta belief. Raja belief, offering to the king, like paying tax, etc. You may have many different fee, right? For example, like now, electronic fee, or many other facility, right? You have to pay for it. All are called, all the things go to the government. This is also called Raja belief. Any of money that go to government is called Raja belief. This is also called a kind of offering. We have to, although we use, right? Actually, we just use and we just pay the amount we have used. Right? Even although it's give and take, this is also a kind of belief, a kind of offering. Then Devata belief, offering to divine beings. Actually, here offering divine beings means a little bit different from many different traditions. There were many different traditions in many different places. For example, in Thailand also we can find some offering, special place for offering to devas. Like when we go to Bali, every single house they have special shrine rooms for divine beings. They believe in Hinduism, right? In Bali, Indonesia. So the main thing is offering to divine beings. This is called Devata Bali. So as long as we don't worship or we don't bow down to the deva, it doesn't matter. We can offer, we can share. Right? So that means when we also talk about like taking refuge. What will be the distractions of what will be the obstructions of Saranagamana, refuge? That means if we bow down to non-Buddhist ascetic or something like that, there will be the problem, right? Now in this case, we just offer or sharing merits, also can be considered as a Devata Bali. So these are called offering. There I mentioned Diwacha, Ratocha, Haranti, Yebele. They brings the offering day and night. So that means people offer divine beings day and night. At the time in Vesali, they have that kind of culture. That's why Buddha used this one. You know, when we read Mahabrinivana Sutta, they have mentioned many things about Jitiya, Kodamaka Jitiya or something like that. You know, their Jitiya means actually shrine tree. They may have a special shrine, a special house for divine beings. Then they will offer something to that devas. This is called Jitiya. Mostly, although we call Jitiya, this is like shrine rooms. This is like a shrine rooms, special shrine rooms, or maybe special trees for the people. Actually, when we go and read in Mahabrinivana Sutta, you can find many Jitiya. Kodamaka Jitiya, this Jitiya, many Jitiyas. That means actually shrine trees. So they also offer foods and other things to the shrine trees or shrine devas. This is also called Devata Bali. So they offer day and a night. We should move to the next one? Next one. Okay. Haranti Yebele, bring offerings. Going to shrine trees in daytime and offer food, etc. So they may offer water, they may offer flowers, and offer clothes and so forth, right? And whatever thing they offer is okay. This means going to the shrine tree, day or in daytime. Mostly they just go in daytime. That's why called daytime, offering food, etc. Then offering Salagapada, lucky draw. So they may invite bhikkhus, they may offer draw lots, then they may offer foods. After that, they will share merits to the divine beings. This is also called Haranti Yebele. So these kind of things can be in daytime. Right? When we are going to offer to the bhikkhu, it must be known. Especially lucky draw. Mostly they just offer mostly in lunch, lunch dana. So we may have that kind of offering, just sharing merit to them. Then also listening to the Dhamma and sharing merit to divine beings is also one of the things. So at the time, they were listening to the discourses given by the Buddha. Then they will share merit to the divine beings there. This is also called Haranti Yebele. So although we say bring offerings, it means we can offer food, clothes, water, or anything to the divine beings, or we can share merit after offering to any of noble persons or relatives or elderly people or anybody. including listening to the Dhamma talk or meditation, after meditation, we may share merit. All these things can be considered as Haranti Yebale. So people will do day or night, right? So they may offer all these things day or night. Then, okay, next one. I don't think I can finish this one today. Okay. Okay, now, okay, maybe we should stop, right? Then, okay. Today we can finish only 2 stanzas for this morning, right? Only 2 stanzas. Anyway, actually there are many stanzas. I'm gonna try my best to finish, right? So actually there are many things to explain. The main thing is, in this stanza, now we just in the first 2 stanzas now, it just mentioned, encouragement to the devas to listen to the discourses or to protect people. Only 2 things here in the stanzas. After that, actually, every single stanza, by telling the truth, we determine to become something. Because Vajjisattva. So from the 3rd stanza, starting from the 3rd stanza, then Buddha will use Vajjisattva, telling the truth, as the determining to protect. So we may have many different types of satya. The first one, Vajjisattva, telling the truth. Another one is the Vritti satya. Vritti means abstinence, the truth of abstinence. So abstaining from some rules and regulations, some wrongdoings, we can also tell the truth, right? For example, Venerable Mala's case, he tell the truth. He just tell the truth. Which means, since I became a noble person, even mentally I didn't kill any living beings, by just telling the truth, may she be recovered from her sickness, something like this. So that is called abstinence. If we can avoid something, for example, since I was born, since I know good and bad, I didn't kill any living beings, for example. Abstinence. After that, we can determine to become something. Then we also have like a Ditti Satya. Let me, for example, only my ideas are right, all other are wrong, right? Something like that. Those are like Paramata Satya, you know what is Paramata Satya? Ultimate reality. Then we also have like a Noble Satya, Ariya Satya, Four Noble Truths. So here in this suttas, we can find Vajjisattva, telling the truth. The Buddha determined to be well and happy. So in this way, we can also, many of the sutta will be the same. Telling the truth, determined to become something. Okay. So today is just beginning of Ratanasutta. Then I should continue until I finish Ratanasutta. Okay. May you all be able to practice the Buddha's teaching, and may you all be able to realize the final cessation and not suffering.
Okay, the first question, dear Sayadaw, when Sayadaw explained Pachavikana, Sayadaw explained 40 doors. Does it mean a yogi discern 40 lankana, anicca, dukkha, anatta again? This is also talk about checking how many defilements remain and what else remain at the Pachavikana stage. Could Sayadaw please explain more in detail? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, these are the 2 different things. Pachavikana is a little bit later than Vipassana. Actually, when I talk about Samasana Jnana, I just talk about 40 toes. Not 40 toes, 40 toes, T-O-S, toes. T-O, that means it's N-N, for anicca door, dukkha door, anatta door, like that. It's N-N-T-O. That's why we just call 40 toes. Okay? So this is This is one thing. TOS. T, not D. Okay. Anyway, okay, this one can be found in Samasana Jnana or Sankarupaka Jnana. Then we just descend all the 5 aggregate methods in 40, all the, for example, 20 nature, 10 nature doors, 25 dukkha doors, 5 anatta doors, and so forth. It's not concerning with Pajapakkhana Jnana. In the case of Pajapakkhana Jnana, as you have mentioned, we have to descend, so we have to review the defilements or the defilement already irrigated or remaining defilements. It mentioned like that. So in the case of Pajapakkhana Jnana, it will be different. Okay, now next one.
Yes, Sayadaw. Saddow's last slide is on Sunyata and Anatta. Could Sadhu explain more in detail? Sadhu.
Sunyata and Anatta, right? Okay, so
Yes.
when we talk about Anatta, okay, I should say only 5, right? It will be too much, huh? We have Sami. Sami means the owner. Okay, that means the 5 aggregates does not have any owner. It does not belong to anybody. It will arise and perish by it itself. That's means no Sami, no ownership. Right? Within this body is belong to us, right? Actually, it will go its own nature. It's out of our control. So that means Sami. Another one is Nivasi. Nivasi means the residents. That means no everlasting entity in this body. Mostly people, okay, ancient time, they have some misunderstanding. When somebody passes away, one of the everlasting entity come out from one body and move to another body. They have this kind of misunderstanding. But then in Buddha's teaching, we don't have that kind of idea. We don't have that kind of instructions. All the number will pass away. Only the power of karma then produce next life. No everlasting entity. This is called Nivasi, right? That is a Vedaka. Vedaka means somebody who feels. For example, when we enjoy something, there's the everlasting entity inside this body, it feels good and bad. This body didn't feel anything. Only everlasting entity enjoying something, good and bad. This is called Vedaka. This is called wrong view, right? We got Atta-ditthi. But in Buddha's teaching, we don't have that kind of teaching, that kind of instructions. So only mentalities, the feeling, right, can feel good and bad. Then also it will arise together with many other mental factors. This is called Vedaka. Another is Karaka. Karaka means like doer. For example, when we are doing good and bad, it's not our own. It's come from our everlasting entity. Or one of the step or soul, right? It will make actions. This is not our doing. This is right. The everlasting entity is doing all these things. This is called Karaka. This is also called wrong view. So we don't have that kind of doer inside this body. Otherwise, Aditayaka. Okay, if we make it easier, like a manager, you know, manager will manage everything, do this, do that, anything, right? For example, there's some special manager in this body. Oh, you eye should see, you ear should listen, managing everything inside this body. But when we have this kind of idea, this is also called wrong view. That's why, when in the sense of anatta or sunyata, we don't have any of these 5. Sami, the owner; Nivasi, everlasting entity, residence; Karaka, so Vedaka, sorry, Vedaka means the one who feels; then Karaka, the one who does; then Aditayaka, the one who manages or direct to do this and that. So we don't have all these things. That's why it's called anatta. It's also called sunyata. Okay, it's out of our control. It will happen by itself. Okay, next one.
Sayadaw, every time after start meditating for 20 minutes, he can feel silence and very comfortable. He knows the subtle breath and he can sit for as long as he likes, but there is no stable nimitta. That's why he cannot enter into jhana. So how to overcome this problem?
Okay. So that means if you don't have stability, that means your effort is not very balanced yet. If you can balance your efforts, then you can maintain your concentration better. There will be more stability of nimitta. Another one is a tranquility. You want to have more tranquility or more rapture, then it will be more comfortable for you. Although you have tranquility or rapture, don't follow it, right? More maintenance, more maintain focus on the breathing. It will be easier. Sometimes when you can focus on the nimitta also, don't think about the breathing anymore. More balancing, you can overcome this problem. This one?
Dear Sayadaw, what would be Sayadaw's suggestion on how to teach our children some meditation? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, for them, we should talk about the metta, right? So actually, they may have seen their own reflection on the mirror, right? Visualize your own body, then wish them, maybe when happy, something like that, right? Then also just visualize all entire family. You can show the family picture, right? Then ready metta to all entire family. Then also, if there's like a grandparents or uncles or aunts or many other extended families, sure, making group photos, then show them ready metta to them like this, right? It will be easier for them to start meditating. Another one is a breathing meditation. Just trying to know breathing in, breathing out around the nostril is possible. As long as they can know normally, it's okay. It should not be deep breaths, right? Just normal breathing. Trying to know in and out on the touching point. It will be easier for the children. Okay? Next one.
Nandami Sayadaw, in the 40th door, Vipawa door, the explanation is because of after the arising, then it will perish. There is no development, no increment, and no expansion. And and because of Vipawa Tanha and Vipawa Ditti, because of the complete destructions of Vipawa Tanha and Vipawa Ditti. So may Sayadaw please explain these last explanations, the last phrase of the explanations of this Vipavato. Okay, means in Vipavato there is the second half, explains that it is the complete destructions of Vipava Tanha and Vipava Ditti. Why it is related to Vipavato?
Okay. So if we talk about bhava, right? This is the life or existence. Vibhava means no more life or no more existence, right? But then after arising, it perish. Like there's no any other conditions to expand or right to increase. This is called vibhava. Anyway, the main thing is vibhava tanha. This is also attachment to the eternal annihilation. Vibhava also annihilation view. Right? Although we have the body, then our mind can be free from vibhava tanha and vibhava ditti. Because we just know arising and perishing, right? We cannot say annihilation because after arise it perish, after the arise again perish. That's why we cannot say vibhava. We cannot have vibhava tanha, vibhava ditti. That's why we call vibhava door. Okay.
Dear Sayadaw, 可以请尊者为弟子。May Sayadaw please explain what is the Paticca Samuppada first method?
Oh, this is a big topic, right? Paticca Samuppada, even one Dhamma talk is not enough for this kind of topic, right? Anyway, In our daily channel, we have avijja pacca sankhara, sankhara pacca vijnana. All these are called the first method. So, for example, because arising of avijja in the past, sankhara in the past arises. Similarly, because arising of avijja in this very life, sankhara in this very life arises. We have to discern this kind of cause-effect relationship, right? What about the sankhara and vijnana? So it can be past and present and future. We have that kind of relationship. So that's why, in brief, we have to discern past, present, future relationship. This is called dependent origination, but it does samuppada. Okay? And this one?
Sorry, forget to unmute. Dear Sadhu, why is the Ratanasutta so powerful? Should I finish the whole thing or just go one by one?
You can read out. You can read out. Okay, I can also see no problem.
Okay. 2. When is it necessary to chant Ratanasutta in our daily life? Can we also sprinkle water like a Venerable Ananda? 3. Other than Ratanasutta, is there any other parita chanting we need to chant for protection, for disaster like Vasali? The COVID, number 4, the COVID pandemic, this few years seem to be very similar to the disaster at the Vasali city. If we chant the Ratanasutta often, would it help with the pandemic situation in the world now? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So why this Ratanasutta is so powerful? Because, of course, it is talking about 3 jewels, about the Buddha, about the Dhamma, and about the Sangha. Also the quality of the Buddha and Sangha, also telling the truth, just making some determination. That is also powerful. So 2, when is it necessary? Okay, so whenever we have some disaster, right, it comes from now like sudden like some like a war or famine, or now it's like COVID-19 epidemic, this is sickness, right? When we have all these situations, we can chant Ratanasutta. Also, if we have a habit of chanting Ratanasutta, knowing the meaning, it will be more meaningful, also more effective. So we can also sprinkle water, but it depends on the situation also. Some sickness are very serious when we touch water, right? But some skin disease, if it is a touch with water, it will be very serious. That's why we should not use water and sprinkle water in that kind of stage. Okay, it depends on what kind of sickness we have. Okay, for other than Ratanasutta, is there any parita chanting we need to chant protection? Okay. Actually, for about that kind of disaster, we just have only Ratanasutta. Then there can be many other cases like haunted by non-human beings. Then there can be many other chanting like Adanadiya Sutta, also possible. For about sickness, Bhajanga Sutta is also another way. So there are many other solutions according to the situations. Then 4, okay, COVID-19 pandemic. Huh? So this also is a very, very, very big disaster. Then if we chant Brahma often, it will be helpful. Actually, at the time, when the COVID-19 pandemic, the first wave, in Powder, we chant every Ubostra day or Ubostra, we chant whole night. Actually, we just rotate the tongue. I mean, it's also one of the participants, that's what I know. Right? So that means at the time, we just, the group and group, we have to set a little bit distance, right? After that, we also use max and just play the loudspeaker or the speaker, and also using the microphone, we just chant whole night. But anyhow, it's also effective. In that very day, the number of infections and the cases are a little bit less than other day. I don't know that one. Mostly we don't watch many news at the time because almost all of them are understandable. Right? We can do only metta or chanting. Then one of the lady, she also knew we are chanting, and she she checked the situation every day. Oh, today is a less number. Finally, she combined all the screenshot. You know, this day, how do I chant Ratanasutta? The number of cases are reduced. Say like that. Huh? She when she sent that kind of message, I can understand. Oh, this is effective. Right? It's very serious. So sure. Anyway, it's also effective. It depends on reciter also, right? Okay. Next one.
Dear Sayadaw, in Myanmar, many people chant Patana in the morning. Could Sayadaw explain what is the power and benefits of chanting Patana?
Actually, we don't have any explanation about the power of Patana, right? Of course, Patana is the most profound Dhamma in the world. That's why mostly we respect Patana, we just chant. This is the one thing. Okay, there are many different purposes. Okay, for example, we have many Dhamma talks about Patana. One very senior Sayadaw talk about Patana. Right? So, I mean, if we chant normally, that means like regularly, then also, I mean, if we chant like a just normal tone, normal rhythm, harmonious, then also there are some requirements about it. If we can chant properly, then we can also get divine smell. You know, we can also get divine smell. Then also we can become famous, or we can, I don't know how to say. We can become wealthy or something like that. Properly. Just for bhikkhu, I think it's possible. And for lay devotee, I don't encourage, right? So anyway, that Sayadaw is actually now very famous. Also, many devotees. Okay, the main thing is it depends on how we use, what's our intention. There can be many different benefits, right? So if we know the meaning and chant, it will be more effective. We can know how the effect, right? Okay. Next one.
Dear Sayadaw, Sayadaw mentioned if one listens to Ratanasutta before pass away, he may be reborn to good realms. What must be the condition of the listener so he can achieve that? That means it is desirable to play Ratanasutta for a person during near death. Sadhu.
Okay. So actually, it depends on happiness. You know, Sumana Bhavantu, be careful with that one. Sometimes after listening, although we are listening to Ratanasutta, if we are unhappy, we cannot get that kind of result. Right? Sumana Bhavantu, you know. That means happily. Our mind we must have happiness on listening. Sakaja Sunandu Basita, we must listen respectfully, attentively. This is also one thing. So if we know the meaning, or if we can listen attentively, happily, then we can be reborn in the good destinations. Right? So for about patients, sometimes we may have different background. If they haven't never listened Ratanasutta before, sure, they will not know how to be happy, or they will not listen attentively. So we have to choose the listener also. Okay, according to listener's condition, we can play. Okay. The next one.
Venerable Sayadaw, in the talk, Sayadaw mentioned that if during the chanting, the pronunciations of the Pali words is not accurate, then it will affect the effects of the parita. So his question is, they cannot pronounce Pali appropriately because, but their chants according to their mother tongue, their own language, would that be effective also?
Okay. So for example, in Sri Lanka, they will use Sri Lanka own tradition. In Thailand, they will have Thailand own tradition. my own tradition. The main thing is if listener can understand clearly, this is the main point. He must understand what who is chanting. Sometimes, okay, for example, when Thai people chant, for example, Dhamma, they will say Dhamma, they don't have Da, they have a Ta. Right? But I can understand when they chant, oh, this is it, they mean, but it mean Dhamma Ratana maybe. But I understand this is Dhamma Ratana. Right? So that means as long as we can understand, it's clear pronunciation is good enough. Okay.
Dear Sayadaw, Randoming Sayadaw Sukihodu, good morning. Please, Sayadaw, advise the meaning of this sentence. May you all radiate. This means, may you is there deva to protect? Is it true? What kind of deva? Sayadaw, thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
In the very beginning of the stanza, it already mentioned Bhumani va Yani va Andalike. It can be any devas on the ground, on the sky, anywhere. Right? That means may you all radiate, may all these devas radiate towards human beings in this earth, in Vesali. Those who bring offerings day and night. Right? So here you can see Deva's protection. Okay? And the next question.
Dear Sayadaw, some people, they chant Patrita like Ratanasutta and sprinkle water on those who are possessed by Peta and black magic. Is this effective? Is this according to Theravada way? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So it's possible somebody is possessed by Peta or black magic. Okay. We have many options. Mostly we can start with Metta Sutta. Metta is a little subtle, not very gross. Right? Then after that, we have to ask him to release. That means do the Peta to release the person. Then, although we chant Metta is not effective, we can do Ratanasutta, the second step. Although we chant Ratanasutta is not effective, the last one is Atanatiya Sutta. So we have three options. Only Metta Sutta. After that, we can move to Ratanasutta. If they cannot finish, if they cannot release, then we can do the last one, Atanatiya Sutta. Okay? It's Theravada way, sure. Then
尊敬的霞朵，礼敬尊者，请尊者推荐一版宝经念诵，感恩。萨度萨度萨度。
Venerable Sayadaw, may Sayadaw recommend one version of Ratana chanting. May Sayadaw please recommend one version of Ratanasutta chanting. Maybe there are many versions, so may Sayadaw recommend one version.
Unfortunately, I didn't listen. Because we have our own channel. That's why I don't know which channel is the best. Right? Even in Myanmar, we have many versions. Sure. Next one.
Dear Sayadaw, today Sayadaw explained about his stanza indicated the 7 achievements. I do not quite understand the meaning of this section. Could Sayadaw explain a little bit more in detail with some example for further understanding on the 7 points? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So that means, okay, this stanza just refer to maybe that like a denote or refer or indicate a little bit similar meaning anyway. So this means the meaning of this stanza have 7 achievements. There also I have some quotation, right? Sumana, Bhavantu, right? This is Atasamabanditi, for example. Atavisajasanadu Basitam, Pradogosa, something like that. I have already mentioned there. So that means in that stanza, we can understand 7 achievements. Okay? If we practice according to this stanza, we may have 7 achievements. They mentioned Sumana Bhavantu and Atobisakaja Sunandu Basitam, right? Only reading these 2 things, it means 7 achievements. Okay, next one.
Dear Sayadaw, in Sri Lanka and Thailand, the bhikkhus will chant Ratanasutta many times, and there will be white streams or colored streams and bottled water for the protection of the devotees. Are this effective also? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, we have many different cultures like that. Yeah, okay, so as you say, white streams like a thread, right? Also, many different color streams or threads is okay. But actually, it does not depends on how many times we chant. It depends on how is our mind. I have already mentioned effective or not effective, right? It comes from our mind. That means we must have clear meaning, clear punctuations or pronunciation, as I mentioned before. Then we must have compassion toward listeners or the devotees. Then we must not expect any gain, any donation from the devotees. It will be effective, right? So water bottle or strings or threads is not really the main point. The main point is the mind. Okay?
Dear Sayadaw, Sayadaw mentioned a few requirements, like we must be clear about the meaning, correct in Pali recitation when chanting Ratanasutta, etc. If after we listen to Sayadaw talk and understand the talk's content, is it considered sufficient that we already understand clearly the sutta? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sure. After listening, sure, you will understand clearly, sure. This sutta is a very long process, right? So that means very, very long discourse, actually. You can imagine only 2 stanzas I have finished today, right? So maybe I have to sometimes add also new things to current version because I just give short notes. Anyway, sure, after listening this Dhamma talk, you will understand Ratanasutta. You will fully understand Ratanasutta. That kind of things happen many times. When I give Dhamma talk about the first time, the Metta Sutta. Then some meditators, they were not chant. They were not chant the evening chant or morning chant. After understanding Metta Sutta, they chant Metta Sutta every day. They understand the meaning of Metta Sutta. Right? It's very deep and very profound, right? Okay, next one.
Vandana Sayadaw, to invite the Deva to listen to Dhamma so that they won't be hitless. Would there be to get prepared before things happening? So 那临时抱佛脚的念诵是否能 So in case the things has happened, then try to try to amend it, or that means if something happened, try to hug the legs of the Buddha to get help. In this way, is that okay? 心平气和的心情念诵，而心安之下听。Chants with a stable mind, 而心乱之下听和念诵。Chant with a stable mind or quiet mind, and chant with an agitated mind. Would that be effective?
I'm not quite clear.
Also, I'm not so clear. 请天人听法，让其不懈怠，未雨绸缪。那临时抱佛脚的念诵，是否能心平气和的心情念诵，而心乱之下听或念诵效果如何？ I'm not so clear, but I try my best. It says to invite the Deva to listen to Dhamma so that they won't be heedless. So this is just like to get prepared before things happening. So in case when things has already happened, then immediately he wants to get help. In this way, his mind cannot be stable. So would they be effective during chanting of Parita?
Not quite clear, right? I cannot understand.
Yeah, means if in normal circumstances he doesn't chant parita. When things happen or disaster happen, only he chants to get protections. So at that time, the mind is not stable.
Sure.
So with that, to chant parita would have the effects.
Actually, okay, at that time, if we cannot understand the meaning, right? Our mind is not very calm. It cannot be that much effective. I cannot say not effective, right? Not that much effective as a normal chanting. Okay? This one?
问答一下的，if someone has obstruction of difficulty in meditation, can they chant Ratanasutta?
Actually, when you have difficulty, you have to calm down your mind by chanting any sutta, it doesn't matter. Even you chant one stanza also okay, right? So for calming down mind, you can use any method, not only chanting Ratanasutta. Okay?
问答一下的 for the chanting of Ratanasutta, can they chant in mind or must it be chant with the voice?
Actually, here we talk about correct pronunciation, right? Then we must pronounce, we must chant verbally. Of course, sometimes we cannot chant verbally, we can chant mentally. This is also okay. Like determination can be mentally, it doesn't matter. If no listener, we can do our own, right? One more thing, if we can chant verbally, much better. You know, there are many other living beings they can listen, like divine beings, right? They can listen. It will be more beneficial. Itawadaja amehi sambadam bunya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe saddha numodandu sabba sambati siddhya idame nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame nyatinam hodu Sukhita hondu nyadayo idame bunyam asawakayam waham hodu idame bunyam nibanasa patiyo hodu mama bunya bagam sabba sadanam vajemi te sabe me samam bunya bagam lavandu